Hello, Dr. Brennan. Could you tell us what Panchakarma therapy is?
Panchakarma is a very sophisticated process of clearing the toxins that have gathered in our bodies. The accumulating imbalances over a lifetime result in distortions in tissues. And Ayurveda is unique in having a very sophisticated series of processes that allows the tissues to be cleansed and healed in a very profound manner. This really is what the Panchakarma is about. In the very most ancient texts of Ayurveda, in all the descriptions of the treatment of all diseases, the very first step is always to do a Panchakarma, to remove the residues of life's traumas from the physiology, to thereby allow that healing could far more effectively occur. So it was very fundamental to the whole sequence of treatments in Ayurveda. And its significance nowadays is that living in very polluted and very stressed environments, particularly in city lives, the discussion emerged amongst Maharishi with the panel of Ayurvedans when they were bringing Ayurveda to the West. Just what could be done to help people in cities, to help them to evolve even, to grow in their own spiritual life as well as their material well-being. What could be done? And the solution was offer Panchakarma, which is why Maharishi Panchakarma treatments started to become available in the West. A wonderful sequence of treatments that remove what the body cannot remove. The body can easily remove water-soluble toxins as we pee, but passing water, we eliminate the water-soluble toxins, but toxins that dissolve in oils, in fats, they're very difficult for the body to handle. There's no medicine that can help because it would be far too toxic. And yet there was this fascinating strategy from ancient texts where you use oil by mouth, by massage, to saturate our tissues and dissolve the toxins inherent in those tissues in order for those toxins now to be shifted to the liver and gut for their removal. So this is the significance and the importance of Panchakarma.
Now, I've heard that even in India, Panchakarma therapy, as it was taught in the ancient texts, was not really practiced.
That's absolutely true. It fell into decline in the long, tumultuous history of India. And in fact, though mentioned in great details in the ancient texts, in reality only in the south of India, particularly in Kerala, there survived aspects of these treatments. And perhaps 50 years ago, a revival started in north of India of Panchakarma treatments, and now the Panchakarma is pretty global. It became of interest to the spa industries because some of these treatments are so wonderful. However, in spa facilities, you only get a preparation which starts to shift toxins out of the tissues by doing massage and various steam baths and the like. However, not removing the toxins just allows those shifting toxins just settle down somewhere else in the physiology, and in the long term, no great benefit, and maybe perhaps the re-establishment of toxins elsewhere could cause problems. So even though the treatments in the spas are wonderful, they're not what Panchakarma is completely about, which is the removal of those toxins completely from the body.
Because you see a lot of adverts showing detoxification therapy and and massage therapies and various other treatments. But as you say, they are very superficial, and they might just be give a temporary relief, but not really a permanent solution to these toxins in the body.
You have to recognize the whole sequence of steps, which is so brilliantly laid out in the old texts, where the toxins that are in our tissues are dissolved in the fats and that make us. And so the initial step is to use oils by mouth and by massage. And these oils are saturating our tissues, and they're in our bloodstream and in our gut. And it allows a conduit for toxins, fat-soluble toxins, into the blood and into the gut for elimination. But the second step in the process is then a lot of heat treatments which open the circulation and which help dissolve the toxins so that they can so easily be shifted. And the third step then is elimination, where various products are taken, whether as purgative treatments or even some inhibitive treatments, and the herbs in it draw those toxins to the liver, to the gut, from where they're eliminated. Now, without that third step, all the preparatory treatment of removing the toxins from the tissues and bringing them to the bloodstream, it hasn't actually achieved the purpose of elimination. So it has to finish with the proper elimination processes, or else the toxins are just settling back down in the tissues again.
And is this sort of treatment good for everyone?
These treatments are strong treatments, so they are, for most people, there may be some who are not strong enough. In that situation, you would end up just doing very, very gentle treatments for them and perhaps not full panchakarma. If someone is over the age of 70 to 80, these treatments are not so indicated because it demands a certain strength in digestion and metabolism to shift those toxins from the tissues. And so for the majority of people, however, these treatments are excellent.
And you seem to indicate, or it's often indicated, that they're done according to the seasons, that they should be done throughout the year at certain times of the year. So it should be really a part of the prevention strategy of everyone.
Well, that is the beauty of panchakarma. Whereas traditionally it was a very important part of treatment of disease, it was also an excellent preventative, because we want to remove the toxins before they get to the point of total disruption and disease. And the earlier you act in a disease process like that, the more effective is your treatments. So when you recognize that you're removing the blockages to the integrated functioning of the physiology, which is really the blocks to the flow of our own intelligence in mind and body, then you see the significance. Sometimes people come in a very healthy state for panchakarma, and what they gain from it is really an awakening and a lightness, a liveliness in mind and body, and a serenity and a joy. And so, yes, it's a great preventative strategy as well as being a treatment.
I know I feel always amazing whenever I have panchakarma therapy. And how do you find most people feel after they've done panchakarma?
Oh, they do feel good. They do feel good. They like it. And you get some very interesting stories. One lady who, as an air hostess over many years had really worn down with all sorts of fibromyalgia and ME type symptoms and just depleted. And in medicine, doctors told her there was nothing wrong with her. Well, after her first panchakarma, when she came in the door, her husband said he had swapped a clapped-out Morris for a Porsche, and anytime she wanted to do panchakarma, to go and do it. So you get these sort of stories. I love the actual people who come for fertility problems, because there's been so many babies born as a consequence of the parents having panchakarma. And so it's a general health strategy. In relation to the seasons, yes, even though we live a balanced life, the old texts describe how in their seasons each of the dosha can still get a little bit out of balance, and therefore at the change of season it was always recommended to have a panchakarma to clear the residues of wear and tear from the previous seasons. But I would be suggesting to people if twice a year would be really good, but at least every year panchakarma is really good.
So that when you come to the end of the summer, for instance, it's a good idea perhaps in the early autumn to have panchakarma to get rid of the heat or the pitta that can accumulate over that period.
That's precisely it, Peter, exactly. And, when we come to the spring, the end of the kapha season is a time when it's really valuable to shift the toxins that have gathered over that autumn-winter. So definitely, I will be thinking about it in autumn and spring.
So whatever you are, whether you are ill or whether you're well, it's really good for everyone. Whether you have the full panchakarma or whether you just have a partial panchakarma, maybe you can't do all the detoxing immediately, it's good for everyone.
It is. Well, when you think of the foods we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, how polluted they now are, and how the 50,000 odd chemicals that we've been pouring into our environment since the last 70 years, how they're coming up along the food chain, and now we know they're interfering with fertility, they're perhaps contributing significantly to cancers and to other illnesses. These toxicants, as they're called, are increasing in our tissues, and medicine has no solution. And it's quite fascinating to me that the solution emerges from this ancient tradition of panchakarma, and that there's research showing that the levels of toxicants in people's tissues are halved just with one panchakarma treatment. And those who have regularly panchakarma have far lower toxicants in their tissues.